Stop these 5 foolish habits after 65. They're quietly stealing your joy and health. 5 habits silently destroying your golden years. Hello, my dear friends. Let me ask you something from the heart. Have you ever felt that even though your body is still fine, your mind is still clear, somehow each passing day feels heavier? That the joy you once knew is no longer full. The conversations grow fewer, and even you don't know exactly why you feel tired inside? You see, there are things we do every single day, small, familiar things, that seem harmless. But in reality, they are silently making life harder. They take away your energy, your connection to others, your joy for living. Let me tell you about Mr. Min, a 78-year-old man living in the countryside. He wakes up early, drinks his tea, takes his evening walk, and looks healthy on the outside. But when I sat with him, I noticed his eyes carried a deep sadness. He told me, "I'm fine, I'm just old." But that's not the truth. He was living, but he no longer felt alive. So what is really happening? Why do so many people, after turning 60, start to feel more lonely, more distant from the world, even though their bodies are still working fine? The answer lies in those small habits we brush off. Maybe it's holding on to old resentments, neglecting how we look, insisting we're always right, or pretending we don't need anyone's help. These things, over time, weigh us down, mentally, physically, and emotionally. In today's video, I'll walk you through 5 simple but harmful habits that many older adults still do every day without realizing the cost. This isn't about judgment. This is about helping you live with more ease, more joy, and more self-respect. If you've ever felt like your days are getting heavier, please stay until the end, because sometimes, letting go of just one small thing can lift your whole spirit. And if you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, so we can stay connected and continue walking this journey of well-being together. Let's begin with the very first habit, one that quietly steals peace from so many hearts: holding on to old grudges. 5 small habits that make life harder with age. 1. Holding on to old grudges. One of the heaviest burdens older adults carry is not illness, but unresolved pain. A sibling you haven't spoken to in decades. A friend who betrayed your trust. A hurtful word from someone you once loved. We think we've moved on, but deep down, we haven't. Grudges don't stay in your memory. They live in your body. They raise your blood pressure, disturb your sleep, drain your energy, and slowly poison your spirit. They stop you from feeling light and joyful. I met Mr. Wah, 79, who hadn't spoken to his younger sister in over 30 years after a land dispute. He said to me, "I think of her every day, but I just can't make the first move." We talked for a while, and eventually, he decided to make a call. They didn't resolve everything, but they cried, laughed, and said things they should have said long ago. It felt like a stone had been lifted from my chest. He told me later, "Forgiveness doesn't mean the other person was right. It means your peace matters more than your pride. Letting go is not for them. It's for you." 2. Neglecting your appearance and self-care. Many people say, "I'm old now. What's the point of dressing up? Who's looking at me anyway?" That may sound harmless, but it reveals something deeper. You're giving up on yourself. When you stop grooming, stop caring about what you wear, or stop even glancing in the mirror, you slowly lose your sense of identity. You feel invisible, unimportant, even to yourself. I once met Mrs. Knock, 76, who hadn't worn lipstick in over 10 years. "No one compliments me anymore," she said. One day, a friend gave her a soft pink shade she used to love. She looked in the mirror and started crying. "I didn't realize I was still here," she whispered. It's not about vanity. It's about vitality. When you take care of your appearance, you tell yourself, "I still matter. I still have worth." That feeling lifts your mood, improves your confidence, and draws people closer to you. 3. Always insisting you're right. One common trap that comes with age is stubbornness. You've lived through decades of experience, so it's easy to believe you know best. But when every conversation becomes a battle to prove you're right, you start to lose the very people you love. Mr. Tan, 81, is a very intelligent man, but extremely difficult to talk to. His children and grandchildren stopped calling regularly because he always interrupted them, corrected them, and made them feel small. Only when his granddaughter said, "Grandpa, we love you, but talking to you is exhausting," did something change. He started listening more. He stopped jumping in. Slowly, His family returned to him, not because he gave up what he knew, but because he opened his heart instead of guarding his pride. Being wise is not about winning arguments. It's about knowing when to let others speak and feeling secure enough to let it go. 4. Avoiding anything new. Do you often say, "I'm too old to learn that," or "That's not for my generation"? If yes, then this habit may be quietly shrinking your world. After 65, you have more freedom than ever, no job, no raising children, no pressure to impress. This is the time to try new things. It could be a new recipe, learning to use a smartphone, or simply going to a new place in the neighborhood. Mrs. Heen, 73, used to think technology was only for young people. But after her grandson taught her to use Zalo for video calls, she reconnected with her childhood friends and felt alive again. Trying something new reminds you, I'm still capable of growing. Don't let routine become a cage. Open the door, even just a little, and breathe in life again. 5. Pretending you don't need help. One of the saddest things I hear from older patients is, "I can do it myself. I don't want to bother anyone." Behind those words is often pride, or fear of being seen as weak. But refusing help when you need it isn't strength, it's silent self-destruction. Climbing stairs when your knees hurt. Driving when your vision's blurry. Carrying groceries when your hands tremble. These risks are real. Mr. Tin, 74, used to repair things around the house alone. One day, he fell off a ladder and ended up in the hospital. After that, he let his nephew help. They worked together, then shared a warm meal. "I thought asking for help made me look weak," he said, "but instead, it brought me closer to my family." Asking for help shows you care about yourself, and gives others a chance to show they care too. Each of these habits may seem small on their own, but repeated daily, they slowly steal your energy, your confidence, and your joy. Which of these 5 are you still doing? Small habits, big regrets. Let me tell you about Mr. Martin, a 79-year-old man living in a small town in Pennsylvania. He's a quiet, orderly man who spent his life caring for his family. But there was one thing he couldn't do for over 30 years: speak to his younger sister. They had fallen out after their parents passed, fighting over a will. Both walked away angry. Time passed, but the silence remained. When I asked Martin if he missed her, he looked down and said softly, "Every single day, but I just can't be the one to call." We sat and talked, not about illness, but about pride, sadness, and the weight of years gone by. A few days later, he picked up the phone. They didn't solve everything, but they talked, they cried, they laughed. It felt like I could finally breathe again. Martin said, "Sometimes, peace doesn't come from fixing things. It comes from reaching out anyway." Now let me share the story of Mrs. Linda, 76. A retired teacher from Atlanta. She was once stylish and lively, always dressed with care. But when her husband passed, she slowly let go of herself. She wore the same faded clothes every day. She avoided mirrors. "I'm old now," she said. "What's the point?" One day, at a local senior center, an old friend gave her a soft pink lipstick. She smiled politely but tossed it into her drawer. A week later, she tried it on. She looked in the mirror, and tears filled her eyes. "I forgot I was still in there," she whispered. After that, she started brushing her hair again, choosing clothes that made her smile. And her spirit began to return. Not because of the lipstick, but because of what it reminded her, she still mattered. Then there's Mr. Harold, 81, a retired engineer from Ohio. Brilliant, articulate, and terribly stubborn. Whenever his children spoke, he cut them off. When his grandchildren told stories, he corrected them. Every conversation became a lecture. Eventually, his granddaughter said, "Grandpa, I love you, but talking to you feels like a test." That stopped him cold. He started practicing silence, letting people finish, nodding instead of interrupting. Slowly, his home began to fill with warmth again. His phone rang more often. There was laughter over dinner again. "It's not about being right," Harold said. "It's about being there." Finally, let me tell you about Mrs. Grace, a 74-year-old widow from Oregon. She lived alone for years. Fiercely independent, she refused help, turning down her daughter's offers to clean, declining neighbors' kindness. "I'm still strong," she'd say. "I don't want to be a burden." One day, she tried to fix a broken light fixture on her own and fell. She spent weeks recovering in a hospital. After that, something changed. She started letting her daughter cook meals, letting her grandson walk her to the park, letting the neighbor rake the leaves without protest. I thought asking for help meant giving up, Grace told me, but it brought my family closer than I ever imagined. Each of these stories started with a small habit: bitterness, neglect, pride, resistance. But each story changed when the person chose connection over isolation. So I ask you now, which story reminds you of yourself? Small daily shifts for a lighter, happier life. 1. Let go of the grudge, choose peace over pride. If you're holding on to anger toward a sibling, a spouse, a friend, or even yourself, start with something small. You don't need to call them today. Just take a sheet of paper and write down everything you wanted to say. Let your pain speak. Then, fold the paper, tear it up, or burn it safely. It's not about forgetting, it's about releasing the weight from your heart. Every day you carry that resentment. It drains your joy, but the day you let go, even a little, is the day you start to breathe easier. 2. Care for your appearance. It's not vanity. It's dignity. Each morning, look in the mirror and smile. Brush your hair. Wear something clean and colorful. Even if you're not going anywhere. If you like perfume or lotion, use it. If lipstick makes you feel alive again, wear it proudly. These are not shallow acts. They're acts of self-respect. Write this on a note and place it by your mirror. I still have value. I still belong here. Because you do. 3. Listen more than you speak. Keep hearts open. Next time your children or grandchildren speak, try this. Wait 3 seconds before replying. Nod instead of correcting. Say, "That's interesting," even if you don't agree. Wisdom isn't about proving a point. It's about knowing which battles aren't worth fighting. When people feel heard, they come closer. And when you give others space to express themselves, they'll do the same for you. It's a simple shift, but one that opens doors instead of closing them. 4. Try one new thing each week. Stretch your mind gently. New doesn't have to be big. It can be as simple as trying a new recipe, watching a documentary on a topic you've never explored, learning to send a text message, walking a new path in your neighborhood, joining a community group, even online. Mrs. Grace, from earlier, now joins a weekly Zoom book club with her niece. At first, it was intimidating. Now, it's the highlight of her week. Trying something new reminds your brain, and your soul, that you're still growing. 5. Say yes to help. Let others love you. If someone offers to assist you today, say yes. If your son wants to carry your groceries, let him. If your neighbor wants to trim your hedges, thank them. If your granddaughter offers to teach you how to use the internet, listen and laugh together. Accepting help is not weakness. It's wisdom. And more importantly, when you allow others to care for you, you also give them a sense of purpose. You make space for connection, for gratitude, for shared memories. Don't wait for a fall or a crisis to open that door. You don't need to change everything overnight. Just choose one small thing, one grudge to soften, one shirt that lifts your spirit, one pause before speaking, one yes to help. Your later years can be peaceful, joyful, and deeply meaningful, not because life is perfect, but because you're choosing how to live it. Today, let your heart breathe. Dear friends, if you've stayed with me until now, I believe something in this message has touched you. Maybe you saw yourself in Martin's silence, Linda's forgotten lipstick, Harold's stubbornness, or Grace's quiet loneliness. If you did, that's not something to hide. That's something to honor. Because noticing is the first step toward changing. You see, aging isn't the end of growth. It's the beginning of wisdom. And wisdom means knowing when to let go, when to open your hands, when to stop fighting what no longer serves you, and instead choose what brings you peace. So today, I ask one simple thing. If this message spoke to you, please write in the comments below. I will release what weighs me down. This one sentence is more than words, it's a promise to yourself. A reminder that your joy, your lightness, your peace still matter. And if you feel this video might help someone else, a friend, a sibling, a neighbor, please share it. Sometimes, one shared video becomes the start of someone's healing. And of course, if you found comfort here, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together, we'll keep walking, gently, wisely, toward better days. You are not forgotten. You are not too old. You are not alone. Thank you for being here with me. May today bring you ease, lightness, and a quiet joy you didn't expect.